Hello everybody, I am Jamie Riddler from Jamie Riddler Studios. Welcome to my studio. Today I am going to share with you what's on my Creative Living bookshelf. So I just love doing this series about books because so many of us creative people, we love to read and we often don't get time to do it. So I hope this encourages you to pick up some things that are of real interest to your creative heart and to sit down, find a cozy nook, make a cup of tea, and read. So here's what I have been reading or what I'm about to read soon. So first is Writing Wild by Tina Welling. Now, Tina was recently on the Creative Living with Jamie podcast. Well, I've interviewed her, and it will be airing soon, so I hope you'll check it out. I was totally fascinated by her concept in this book that nature can be our co-creator, our partner in our writing and in our creative lives. And she offers up some very simple practices to tune into nature and to tune into ourselves through that process and through our creativity. It's things you can do in your own backyard or things that you can do if you feel like expanding your reach into more wildness. I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed Tina, and I had a great conversation with her. So there is lots of richness in here to explore about creativity, writing, and nature, and self, really. Now, the next book I'm going to show you, I haven't started reading at all, but I couldn't resist it. True Perception, The Path of Dharma Art by Chogyam Trungpa. Now, I'll read you a little bit of the back, because that'll be a good description. Genuine art has the power to awaken and liberate. See how I got hooked already? The renowned meditation master and artist Chogyam Trungpa calls this type of art Dharma art, any creative work that springs from an awakened state of mind characterized by directness, unself-consciousness, and non-aggression. I gotta know. So this is on my nightstand and in the list of books to come soon, and I'll let you know how I enjoy it. Now, this book I'm going to show you next is a book that I actually have had on my bookshelf for a long time. And I've read portions of it, but I haven't read it all. And so I've just been very motivated. Right now I'm feeling very excited by visual art, by painting, and by drawing. And that's one of the reasons why I picked this out. Not that it only refers to those things, but art, this is a classic. Art is a way of knowing, a guide to self-knowledge and spiritual fulfillment through creativity by Pat B. Allen. Now, I'm lucky enough to have Pat on my show as well, and I'm still bringing the archives from my old site to my new site, so I hope to have Pat's interview up soon so you can check it out, because she is really special and sensitive, and this journey, you know, art as a way to self-knowledge and spiritual fulfillment, this is really at the heart of the mission at Jamie Riddler Studios, is that our creativity is like an in to coming alive, to discovering who we are and what we love and what's going on in the weather constellation of our life. We can find out when it comes out of our heart and onto the page in writing, or onto the dance floor, or onto a canvas, and then the art can reflect back to us so much. And not only that, but the experience. There's something magical that happens in the art making process that opens you up to what's going on with you right here and right now. And that is a lot of what Pat's book is about. And one of the things I love is she talks about different materials. She talks about different exercises. She talks about different ways that you can explore these things. And I find it very exciting, both as a person who loves to create art for self-knowledge and also someone who loves to share this process with others. So I think if you are one or both of those things, this book will be of great interest to you. And the podcast too, so be sure to check that out. And on the same path, Life, Paint, and Passion Reclaiming the Magic of Spontaneous Expression by Michelle Cassou and Stuart Kubley. I'm eating this book up with a spoon. I am just highlighting it like crazy, and I literally can't put it down. Because I'm so excited right now about stepping more fully into this practice of sharing creative work as a way of tuning in and experiencing ourselves. And that's what this book is all about. And if you're thinking about leading workshops and stuff like that in this field, they've got a great, like, here's the list of supplies and here are some exercises right at the front of that. But it's mostly an exploration of why this kind of work is significant. Why does it matter for us to tune into our spontaneous expression, and how can we do it? And I think this is, again, this can be a key into presence, into waking up to your life and showing up to your life. And it's a lovely and easy read with a deep, clear philosophy. So I'm really enjoying that too. And if you've been watching some of my other videos, you may know that recently I've gotten really excited by drawing. And this is still surprising the heck out of me. And one of the things I have started to explore a little bit is there is a process of drawing. You can read lots about it online, called Zentangles. It's a very simple and delineated practice for coming to drawing as meditation. And also, you know, when you see the things that people create, they're beautiful. They're like exquisitely beautiful, and they're made from very simple lines, shapes, and form. And so I found that really engaging, and I wanted to know more. So I picked up this particular book, One Zentangle a Day, because I thought that would be a fun process. A 6-week course in creative drawing for relaxation, inspiration, and fun by Becca Krahula. And I really, it gives you a lot of great examples of, I'm going to see if I can show you, of the patterns. That is sort of what Zentangle offers you at the beginning, is sort of these, see, these very simple patterns that you can explore and practice and really discover. I found I'm really discovering, what do I love to draw? You know, I kind of dig circles, and I really like straight lines like this, so this is a good and simple especially for people who are totally intimidated by drawing. Now, I do have to say, I'm enjoying the book. I'm not that far into it, but I have been using it, and I especially loved having the clear introduction to what Zentangling is about. But I want to tell you that there is lots and lots and lots and lots of information on the internet. If you just go to Pinterest and you put in Zentangle, you'll find a lot of examples of these little snippets and patterns to draw. And but I did want to have something that gave me some context and also a bit of structure to help me develop a practice with it. And then I'm still not reading any fiction. And thank you everybody who sent me some great suggestions, and they are staying in my list of things to read. But I'm feeling very drawn right now, particularly to memoir. And what I'm reading on my Kobo, which is where I read most of my fiction, memoir, that kind of thing, the things that I don't need to highlight furiously, I'm reading Jane Goodall's Seeds of Hope, and I am in love with it. Jane Goodall has written this book about plants, about the history of plants, the nature of plants, of, you know, just regular plants and trees, and interwoven in it are the stories of her own relationship with plants, how she felt about them when she was a little girl, trees that she's made friends with around the world. And I find her description of those elements of her life, those memories, so captivating. And they just draw me right in, and they bring me back to my own experiences in my mom's gardens. And now in my garden, which maybe you checked out I took everybody on a walk in my garden on a video, so check that out too. And I'm just feeling really connected to that energy, not only to the love of gardening and nature and beauty, but also to the story of our lives and how they intersect. Which, interestingly, isn't that interesting how that brings us back to the very first book that I shared writing wild. You know, in a lot of ways I hadn't realized how much of my creative life grew up in my mom's garden. My sense of freedom, my love of beauty, and my true belief that you can make a difference. Because if you've ever planted a seed, you know, you get to witness life, and that you helped it come to fruition, and that's the most gorgeous thing. And it takes me right back to putting a bean sprout on a wet paper towel on a tin plate with my mom and watching it start to grow. Maybe I'll do that this year. I really love that. It's a good memory for me. So those are the books that are on my Creative Living bookshelf right now. And I'm so curious if you read any of these, if you enjoy them, and if you have books that you'd love to recommend. I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for coming by, for hanging out in the studio, and checking out my books with me.